congratulations, you're through to the quarter-finals. A great night for you. What worked well tonight?
Yeah, thank you so much. We are very happy. It was not an easy game. We knew that was a difficult game. So yeah, very happy for the goals, for the win. We are in the next round, so that's the most important.
4 goals in 2 starts for you. What do you put your good form down to?
The adaptation is really good. I'm very happy with the teammates, with the staff. They give me a lot of confidence, so I try to do my best in the pitch, and it's going well. And I want to score more, to give more to this team, to this club, and that's my objective.
Talking of teammates, another assist from Marcus Rashford. How much are you enjoying playing with him?
Yeah, Marcus is a top player. We are together not so much, but I know what he wants to do, where he passes, and yeah, I'm very happy to have Marcus and all the teammates. We have a good level for try to do big things this season, so that's the objective.
It's a big season for this club. You've got the Champions League next week, but also through to the quarterfinals. One more win and then you're off to Wembley. So a big season.
Yeah. We have to keep pushing. We are in the right way. So yeah, next step is Champions League, and now the focus is there.
Thanks so much. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Scored a couple of nice bits of quality there from a brilliant player. Showed his quality tonight. Villa probably could have scored a few more goals. Lee gave the goalkeeper man of the match. Cardiff made a good effort, but Villa deserving winners and showed their quality at the end.
Yeah. And also showed the value of what they did in the transfer market, didn't they? Let's be honest with you, with Rashford and Asensio on loan.
Yeah, they've got to get credit as well. They kept the width, they kept the patience with keeping the width, and that's what cost them in the end when the way they kept them stretched. It was really tough for Cardiff to try and keep hold of them, and in the end, it cost them. But yeah, it was a good effort from Cardiff, but you always felt, unfortunately, that Villa was going to get...
What helped Villa towards when Cardiff were getting a bit cocky and the game became a bit open, that's when it suited Villa when they got the first goal.
Well, which was literally a couple of moments after Cardiff had their one shot on target in the whole of the game. Saleh came on at half-time.
It's a good move.
For Callum Robinson. It was good movement, wasn't it?
It was a good move, simply because they've done it quickly. Because they've not been good coming out of the defence anyway. But in this instance, got it in the midfield, got it wide, got it in the box quick to try and catch Villa off guard, but unfortunately... he didn't quite get enough contact on it.
Rashford, he shapes his run really intelligently there.
Yeah, he does. That's what Marcus should be doing more of. Obviously, you give good players time on the ball. You have runners, then you're in trouble. We saw it in the first half. And Marcus is very good at doing it. I think this is obviously one of his big strengths. He has a little bit of luck at the end. I'm not sure he's trying to pick out...
He's trying to square that.
Yeah, I think and to be fair, he needs a bit of luck, and he's putting into a right area, and a quality player walking onto it, one-touch finish, no chance for the goalkeeper. Lovely, simple, effective goal.
Yeah.
Since Marcus Rashford joined Aston Villa, he has created the most chances of any Premier League player in all competitions, 13.
Yeah, but strange enough, I still think Marcus has done well with the assist, but I still think he'd be thinking, I want to score a few goals myself.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then just as the game opened up a little bit, it was always inevitable. What do you enjoy most about Asensio when you see him? I mean, obviously,
but the thing
4
is,
goals
even in
in
the
2
first
games
half,
is a big impact.
Lee gave the goalkeeper the man of the match, which is fine, but I thought in the first half, especially his touches and the way he found the space, was you could see the class and the quality in him, the way his touches. But again, you see him just he's just drifting in, just slowly. No one's picking him up. But it's once it gets in there, the touch is good enough, and he's quick enough to react to the touch. It's just gone a little bit behind him. There, look, man, you've got to get tighter.
You often talk about it coming from midfield. Don't get there too quickly.
Don't get there too early, obviously. And he's not lightning pace, so he's always going to be just drifting onto things. But the key is his first touch. He gets a little bit of luck, but it's that finish at the end. And it's a good example to a lot of midfielders. People think you have to make exciting darting runs or... No, sometimes just drift into it. But then, has he got the quality to finish? Of course he has.
They've got Bailey, they've got Watkins. Rodgers is a terrific player. Asensio, Rashford. He's assembled, I mean, I know a couple of them are on loan, a really good squad of forward players there. When they're still in the Champions League, they want to get back into it and the FA Cup.
What you want, we're talking about clubs here, we argue most weekends about options. We see where City struggling, Haaland, we see where obviously Arsenal are. As a top manager with a big club, you want options. And Villa have got plenty of options. It's just about getting the balance right, who to put in, who to take out. And again, it's good for the manager. That's what you need with a lot of big games coming up.
What about Rashford's overall game? What did that strike you as the stage it's at the moment?
It's still bitty. He's still seen to quality. Like we say, we got a bit fortunate in respect to that that cutback. But in the main, you know, he's trying to go at people. You know, I think he could do that more. Like Roy said, I like to see him score a couple of goals because it's not like he's not trying. But in the main, you know, he's just easing himself in. He's getting going.
Ivan Horvat, the American goalkeeper, is in the running to be #1 for the national side with the World Cup, of course, in the USA. In only 16 months' time. Lee's a defender. We've got to allow him to give the player of the match to a defender.
Yeah, of course. He's entitled to make mistakes.
But it can't be always the glory boys up front.
Yeah, but I do like, of course, the goalkeepers, he was always going to be tested tonight. It was a big night for him. He was going to get shots to save. And these are good saves. He's a very good save, that one, because he's a bit unsided. You know, this is again Marcus, very powerful shot. When people say good shot stopper, you're thinking, I hope he is.
Look, a good, confident keeper.
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, it was a good night for him.
Yeah,
absolutely. He'd be very pleased with it.
What did you think, Ian?
Yeah, because I think the first half he made some very, you know, that kept them in it. And in the end, obviously, like me as a forward, I'm probably always going to give the man of the match to someone who scored 2. But I thought that he kept them in the game up until that point, till they were too tired in the end.
Absolutely. What did the Cardiff manager, Omar Reza, make of it all? Here he is with Katie Shanahan.
Not the result that you would have wanted, but what lessons were learned from a game like that?
Well, I think I said to the lads today, you know, the shift we put in out of possession, the amount of work we put in to contain and stop Villa, who are a very good side. You know, they've got a lot of attacking threats. And then to be able to keep the ball at times and show moments of composure, I think that was pleasing, you know, on our builds and our restarts. I thought we showed good composure again and moved and manipulated them well. Just those final moments, you know, where they got the 2 goals, it was telling, but bits of magic there from them. But I think, you know, we're now, you know, heading into the league, and where a lot of our focus is, and hopefully we can take this performance into that.
Just a word on your goalkeeper, Ivan Horvat, who got the player of the match. He made some really key saves, didn't he, tonight? How big a part did he play in this?
Yeah, he's had to be really patient. You know, Jack's been playing a lot of the season, and Ethan's had to be really patient, and he's worked really hard, showed great character and attitude constantly, you know, without... You know, we've had the odd chat, you know, to see, you know, like I do with my players, make sure they're all right, and that he's been in a good place. And his opportunity came around last week, and you know, his performance today was superb. Some of the saves he pulled off, the quality with his feet as well, playing out from the back. So really pleased for him, and like I said, a really important player for us moving forward in the league.
And just picking up on what you said there, are you confident that this form from this cup run, which will be memorable, can help in the league and help you stay up in the Championship this season?
I always said, you know, that the cup run is great for our club and great for the fans. It's been a great evening tonight for our fans to come out, and they were brilliant tonight. You know, 6,000 of them out there. You know, sometimes they were louder than the Villa fans, so that was nice, and so it was a nice night for them. The momentum in the cup and the competition, I think it just, you know, keeps that momentum going, and you know, we've been picking up some quite good results in the league anyway, and sort of getting ourselves in a position that we want to be. So we just need to continue that, and you know, get everyone back ready, fit for Tuesday.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Burnley at home Tuesday, away to Sunderland. 2 big games for Cardiff. But he's right, Ian, isn't he? Because they did show some composure on the ball, even in a defensive area. They didn't just thrash it up the pitch.
No, they didn't. But like we knew that they were going to defend. We saw how they set up. It was the 4-5-1, so they were going to do a lot of defending. But I just thought that in some instances they could have got it forward a bit quicker. We saw it with that chance that they had with goalie made a very good save, where they've got to try and get Villa to ease off a little bit by being a bit more like composed in possession, so as they could let Villa think, oh, we've got to be careful here, because that was a good chance. It was just unfortunate.
Yeah, when you're chasing the ball, like, you're fatigued physically and mentally, and that's the problem. When they did get it back, you'd be tired. But I think also the manager would be pleased. I think he'd be worried. Just say they got beaten 4 or 5.
Yeah.
They leave here with a little bit of confidence, good shape. Some of the young players, good experience from. They've got some big battles ahead.
So it doesn't dent them, does it, psychologically ahead of the Burnley and Sunderland games, does it?
Absolutely not. It's a good experience for these players, even for the experienced players, the young players. We've seen a lot of them out there. And they will get better from that, because we talk about training sessions, but the experience being up against top players. There was a player played today on the pitch who scored 2 goals. He's won the Champions League 3 times. They need to play against these players to see what levels they want to try and get to.
Yeah. And you need to say to yourself, we weren't overawed. We weren't intimidated.
No.
In the end, we were outclassed, but it wasn't like it was 90 minutes of being outclassed.
They defended brilliantly, but like Roy said, you've got a guy who's won the Champions League 3 times who's had to score the 2 goals against them. Again, you know, it just goes back to the golfing class, because if they were able to get the ball out, they may have been able to hurt Villa, and then they could turn the tables on them a bit.
Yeah, there was nice shape to him, nice bit of spirit to Cardiff. So you look at them go forward, the big games they have coming up, and you're thinking they should be fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's Aston Villa who are through to the FA Cup quarter-final.
Congratulations, you're through to the quarterfinals. You had to be patient, but were you always confident the goals would come?
Good evening. have to be confident, but of course always respecting the opponent, and we were trying to dominate, controlling of the game with our positioning, keeping ball possession, and trying to get our chances as well. We had as well as out of corners, but the most important was try to be patient, don't concede transition of them and attacking moment, and we did it. And then progressively, of course, we had chances, we weren't clinical, but the second half, after we scored the first goal, I think we were thinking, okay, our work was going well.
2 goals for Marco Asensio. How good was he tonight? And that partnership with Marcus Rashford is working really well, isn't it?
Yes, it's important for the team. It's important as well for the players individually to get their individual target as well. And 2 goals, he's adapting fantastic as well. Rashford, of course, we will need then for the next matches and the challenges we have.
Villa have not won the FA Cup in 68 years. With big teams out already, you've got a really good chance to go all the way, haven't you?
We are thinking for the next match. We are in Cardiff final, and of course we are happy, but we know the difficulties we are going to face. But enjoy each moment. And today, here with our supporter, of course, we are here performing at home very well, and the cup is important as well for the club, for the supporters, for ourselves, and as well it's a way for a trophy.
Ian, when you support a team, you just want your club to be involved in the business end of the season. FA Cup quarter-final, they play Bruges. They've got a really good chance of reaching the quarter-final of the Champions League as well. It should be really exciting here over the next couple of months.
It should be really exciting, and you have to give them credit as well because they've had a few injuries. You look at people like Pau Torres, Tyrone Mings, Matty Cash, you've seen Ezri Konsa. They've all been out this season. You'd like to think that if they had that defensive unit as solid with this new exciting forward line, you'd have to feel like you'd probably be a lot more happy about how things are going at the moment. But Champions League, FA Cup, 10th in the Premier League, it looks like it's really starting to weigh heavy.
Yeah, exciting, that's the word. Yeah. But also, this is where the pressure builds now. We see how Villa can cope with the demands. They've had obviously struggles away from home, but if they get another home draw, and why not Villa's
he's pretty good. I mean, he was fantastic in European competitions when he was in Spain. So he has shown Unai Emery that when it comes to what you've just said, the pressure end of the season in knockout cup competition, he's up to the challenge.
The manager can deal with it, obviously, but he's got a group of players now, and the challenge will be for them to deal with the demands and the chaotic few months ahead. But for a Villa fan and for the players, very, very exciting.
The clean sheet, no new injuries, and into the hat. So very, very happy. It's good to see Marcus get 80 minutes. Good to see Bailey to get 90 minutes, and both of them get assists.
It's obviously proven to be quite the move for Marcus Rashford, isn't it?
It is. And you wanted to see how he'd cope, and albeit against Cardiff City, who themselves are sitting near the bottom of the Championship, so almost a hiding to nothing for them. But Marcus Rashford, given some of the inconsistencies we've seen at Manchester United, you wanted to see how he'd feature, especially under a manager like Unai Emery, who has this ability to get the best out of players. And it was good to see Marcus Rashford involved, contributing, the 1 assist, but he was involved with so much about Aston Villa's good play. I felt that Cardiff were trying to get the ball to their left, Villa's right, and keep Rashford quiet and focus more closely on Leon Bailey. And it worked for the most part. For me, though, Villa were a little too slow in getting out of the blocks. The second half was a whole lot better. But had that penalty been given on Bogart's challenge, maybe we're having a different conversation. All in all, it's a day's work easy for Aston Villa, to Zad's point. You're through to the next round, no injuries to talk about. Some of those fringe players and players you wanted to see more of get a whole lot more minutes. So a job well done. But when you've got lesser opponents, you've got to kill them off. And I just felt, given the disparity between the two, Aston Villa took a little bit too long in doing that against Cardiff.
Yeah, given that Jacques mentioned that, Zat, the 42nd minute, that high challenge from Bogart when Cardiff City wanted the penalty, how did you see it?
I thought it was a penalty. I mean, we really got away with that. But I definitely agree with Xhaka by with what we've got coming up in the next few weeks, I wanted more poise from Aston Villa. I think there was very slow in the build-up. Like what you said, we are coming up against a Cardiff, but it's hard to just raise our game to go from a FA Cup to a fighting relegation championship team to going into a Champions League game. You know, it's hard to switch from one thing to the next. So yes, I would have wanted Aston Villa to be a bit more aggressive and a bit more attacking.
You must be happy with what you've seen from Marco Asensio, though, since he's arrived on loan here. He's a new man since PSG.
Oh no! He's coming, and I've really enjoyed him. I didn't really know too much about him, but what he's doing and the positions he's picking up is something that we haven't really had, you know. And hopefully, long may it continue for him. Because he's really looking the part. He's looking like that missing piece that we haven't had.
Unai Emery's got to be happy with what he's seen from Asensio, Xhaka.
And I think when you look at how well certainly this front four works and works so well together. Rashford and Leon Bailey want to push very high up. They want to play almost in a straight line with Ollie Watkins, engaging the opponent's two wing backs, and that allows Asensio just to sit in that hole behind. And he's such a brilliant technician, and you saw that on display all game long. Give him space, give him time and room. He will hurt you, and that's where he found his successes against Chelsea a couple of weeks ago. That's where he found his successes certainly today. With that high front three, him sitting just in behind, anything that comes loose, he is just so efficient with it, so clinical with his touches, with his finishing. Impossible to play against when you have that front line pushing us as high up as they are.